First, let's talk about the market action of the day. The bulls seem to continue to stutter as markets fell once again after seeing some sharp losses on Friday. So Nifty had given up the 11,000 mark on Friday, and today it fell below the 10,900 mark. Sensex lost over 150 points even after recovering 130 points from its low point of the day. Broader markets saw sharper cuts, with the mid-cap index losing nearly 2%. Mid-cap underperformance has been a running theme over the last few sessions very clearly. But let's talk about a stock that will be in focus tomorrow. The government is planning to sell up to 3% stake in holds that it holds in Axis Bank through the specified undertaking of Unit Trust of India, or the SUTI. The stake sale is scheduled for tomorrow via an offer for sale. The centre is eyeing about 5,300 crore rupees through the stake sale. The floor price has been set at just over 689 rupees per share. This is a 3% discount to today's closing price of just over 710 rupees. The clock is very clearly ticking for the government to meet its ambitious divestment target for this financial year. And this is something that we're going to be tracking very closely tomorrow. So watch out for Axis Bank. But the big corporate story that we are tracking today, there seems to be a glimmer of hope for lenders to the debt-ridden IL&FS. Some group companies have been cleared to make payments to creditors by the Company Law Appellate Tribunal. Ashmit Kumar is here with the details. Ashmit, what's the significance of this order?
Indeed, some relief coming in as far as IL&FS lenders are concerned. The NCLT, we understand, has freed up a whole host of group companies to begin meeting those debt obligations. Now, here are the facts of the case. The government today submitted an affidavit before the Apex Court, before the NCLT, I beg your pardon, where they clarified that 133 of these group companies are sitting overseas. Of the 169 companies that are located in India, the government clarified that of them, 69 have been categorized as green, amber or red, depending on their cash flows and the repayment capacities, and that 22 companies have been classified as green. Now, on the back of that, the NCLT as of right now has seen it fit that to allow the 133 companies sitting overseas and the 22 companies that are literally in the green to begin meeting those debt obligations. The caveat is that they will be subject to supervision of Justice D.K. Jain as well as decisions of the IL&FS board. That's the only caveat that has been slipped in. With respect to the companies that have been classified as amber or red, here the government submitted that they shall be allowed to make only those limited payments that would ensure that their status is maintained as a going concern. That is something to which various lenders had created objections, had raised objections. The NCLT has not passed any orders on those companies. That's for a later date. For now, some relief coming in for the lenders. 22 green companies situated in India being allowed to meet their debt obligations. Back to you.
Okay, Ashmit, we'll leave it at that. But hang on there. Let's also talk about the other story that you're tracking today. The Supreme Court has rejected the pleas by YSR Steel's operational creditors of seeking a stay on a National Company Law Appellate Tribunal order. It's a major victory, of course, for ArcelorMittal. What are you picking up in terms of what lies ahead?
Indeed, a big win coming in as far as Arcelor is concerned. The Apex Court, for all effective purposes, has cleared the decks for NCLT Ahmedabad to go ahead and to pass final orders with respect to approving the Arcelor bid for SR Steel. Now, here are the facts of the case. Here are the issues at hand. The NCLT earlier this month had passed an order whereby it had directed for NCLT Ahmedabad to go ahead and to expedite the proceedings. However, the NCLT order had also provided that for all the operational creditors, 41 to be specific, there will be only one representative who will present all the concerns and objections before NCLT Ahmedabad. Now, aggrieved by that order was then challenged by the operational creditors before the Apex Court, and they sought an opportunity today to be heard by NCLT Ahmedabad before it goes on to approve the Arcelor bid. That opportunity has been decided, especially on the back of Arcelor arguing before the Apex Court that these operational creditors, many of them were nothing but proxies of the SR promoters, and that this was an attempt to scuttle and delay. Now, the Apex Court has rejected. In doing so, upheld the NCLT order, and in doing so, also upholding the February 11th, which is today's deadline for NCLT Ahmedabad to go ahead and to pass final orders with respect to approval of the Arcelor bid, failing which tomorrow, keep in mind that the NCLT could take over the entire set of proceedings itself. So that's, of course, for a later date. For now, a big win coming in for Arcelor. Back to you.
Absolutely big win indeed, and let's see how that case progresses. But speaking of SR Steel, State Bank of India had put loans given to the company to the tune of 15,400 crore rupees on the block. Sources say the offer has so far excited only one bidder. We understand that the Bank of America Merrill Lynch is the sole bidder and is likely to have placed a bid to buy 1,515 crore rupee loan in the long-term scheme. Sources also tell us that SBI is unlikely to go ahead with the sale and a final decision is expected very soon. SBI had imposed a clawback criteria, which is a potential reason for low interest. Now, the Lok Sabha today passed the interim budget for FY20 amidst ruckus by opposition parties. The Congress, CPIM and the NCP staged a walkout. Speaking during the debate, Finance Minister Piyush Goyal said there is no angel tax being levied on startups. Goyal went on to add that genuine startups will not face any tax difficulty. Remember, this comes only days after tax department officials met with industry representatives to resolve the tax issues that plague the industry. Here is what Piyush Goyal said today.
दुर्भाग्य इनको समझ ही नहीं है, इंडियन टैक्स जैसी कोई चीज ही नहीं है। ये स्वाभाविक है कि जो हमारी स्टार्टअप्स है, वेंचर कैपिटल फंडिंग है, उसमें भी एक आकलन लगाया जाता है उस कंपनी की वैल्यू क्या है और उसके हिसाब से प्रीमियम मिलता है। उसके लिए सरकार कठोर कदम उठा रही है कि जो खराब कंपनी है उस पर एक्शन हो और जो ईमानदार कंपनियां जेन्युइन पैसा लाती हैं प्रीमियम पे, उस पर किसी प्रकार का कोई एक्शन नहीं होगा। ये मैं देश को और सभी माननीय सांसद को आपके माध्यम से आश्वस्त कराना चाहता हूँ।
Now, the Parliamentary Panel on Information Technology has issued an ultimatum to Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey, asking him to appear before the panel on the 25th of this month. The panel is also planning to summon managements of other social media platforms like WhatsApp and Facebook. This follows an earlier summon by the panel to Twitter India to appear before it to discuss issues regarding safeguarding citizens' rights on social media. Ritu Pannabhuyan is here with more on this story. Ritu, what's the latest update and is Jack Dorsey likely to come to India for this?
Today, there was a feeling amongst the members of this panel, which is a very important parliamentary panel, that there needs to be some amount of responsibility as far as these social media platforms are concerned. At a time when India is will be having elections, general elections shortly, but at the same time, many members felt that why only invite the Twitter global CEO. The global CEOs of Facebook, global CEO of WhatsApp should also be asked to depose before this panel on the topic of safeguarding rights of citizens as far as social media platforms are concerned. Now, the chairman of this panel then decided to summon Jack Dorsey on 25th of this month, and then he told us that other global CEOs will be summoned most likely on the next day, that is 26th of February. We have to wait and see if the CEOs actually come before this parliamentary panel, because Jack Dorsey, who was summoned earlier, had said that it was too short a notice for him to come down to India and answer queries of this parliamentary panel. But because Jack Dorsey did not come down today, that was not taken lightly by the members of the parliamentary panel. In fact, the team from Twitter India, mid-level executives who came to Parliament, they were actually not allowed to come inside and share their views on this topic. All the members felt that nothing short of the global CEO of Twitter should come down and depose, and other global social media platform global CEOs should also come down and depose before this parliamentary panel, and we'll have to wait and see if these global CEOs indeed land up in Delhi and depose before this parliamentary panel later this month. With that, it's back to you.
Definitely will be explosive if they do, Ritu. Thanks for joining in. The big political story of the day, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra has hit the ground running as the new General Secretary of the Congress Party. She kicked off her 4-day campaign in Lucknow with a roadshow along with her brother and Congress Party President Rahul Gandhi and Jyotiraditya Scindia, who is in charge of the campaign in western Uttar Pradesh. Now, the leaders travelled in an open truck across 30 kilometres. Priyanka Gandhi will focus on the Congress campaign across 40 constituencies in Uttar Pradesh. This includes the Gandhi family bastions of Amethi and Raebareli and Prime Minister Modi's Varanasi, along with Yogi Adityanath's Gorakhpur. Addressing party workers in Lucknow, Rahul Gandhi asserted that the Congress would face the 2019 Lok Sabha polls on the front foot. That's not all. Gandhi said that the fight between Congress and BJP in the upcoming polls can be touted as the battle of ideologies.
कांग्रेस पार्टी हर प्रदेश में फ्रंट फुट पे खेलेगी। ये विचारधारा की लड़ाई है। एक तरफ कांग्रेस पार्टी की विचारधारा भाईचारा, प्यार और जनता को जोड़ने की विचारधारा, और दूसरी तरफ आरएसएस, बीजेपी, नरेंद्र मोदी जी की विचारधारा जनता को तोड़ने की, नफरत फैलाने की, देश को कमजोर करने की विचारधारा।
To this theme, a new report by the Hindu newspaper has sparked yet another war of words between the Congress and the BJP over the Rafale deal. On Friday, the newspaper reported that Defence Ministry had protested parallel negotiations between the Prime Minister's office and France in 2015. The then Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar had called off some of the concerns raised by his own ministry officials as an overreaction. Now today, the newspaper reported that India had given major and unprecedented concessions to the French side, citing official documents. The Hindu then reported that 8 crucial changes were made to the intergovernmental agreement in 2016. Among those is the dropping of key provisions under the Anti-Corruption Act. The provisions that were dropped include no penalty for undue influence and no clause against agency commission. Now, according to the Hindu, the government also waived off any access to suppliers' accounts and also junked a provision that mandates payment through an escrow account. Congress President Rahul Gandhi took to Twitter to slam the Prime Minister. He said, and I'm quoting now, "The Chowkidar himself opened the door to allow Anil Ambani to steal 30,000 crore rupees from the Indian Air Force." End of quote. Now moving on, Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu is holding a 12-hour hunger strike against the Modi government, demanding special category status for the state. Naidu's rally has become the latest venue for the opposition to showcase its strength. Congress President Rahul Gandhi visited Naidu briefly, where he accused Prime Minister Modi of lying about Rafale deal and not fulfilling his promises to Andhra Pradesh. Other opposition leaders, including Mulayam Singh Yadav of Samajwadi Party, Sharad Yadav of Loktantrik Janata Dal Party, ex-Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, Farooq Abdullah of National Conference and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal also stepped in to support the Andhra Chief Minister. Shiv Sena MP Sanjay Raut made a surprise appearance as well. A delegation of TDP leaders will also be submitting a memorandum to the President Kovind. My colleague Maria Shakil caught up with Chandrababu Naidu earlier. He said that the opposition was working together as an anti-Modi and anti-BJP force. That's not all. He went to the extent of saying that Jagan Mohan Reddy, his political rival, is also welcome to joining them.
In a post-poll scenario, is there a possibility of TDP aligning with the BJP, not with Mr. Modi?
Why you are asking all questions? We are all together now. We are one. Anti-BJP forces, we are working together.
It's anti-BJP.
Anti-Narendra Modi, anti-BJP forces, we are working together.
So according to you, anti-BJP is also anti-Narendra Modi?
What I am saying, Narendra Modi and BJP is one.
Is there a possibility that even in a post-poll scenario, you can have talks with YSRCP? Or are you ruling that out completely?
No, what I am saying, they are with BJP now, with Narendra Modi.
Is that clear?
100%.
They are not part of the NDA as yet.
NDA is they are not part. Yesterday, Jagan Mohan Reddy mobilized crowds for Narendra Modi. Otherwise, he cannot have that type of meeting there. It is all paid workers. He mobilized. They don't have infrastructure. He addressed that gathering. In turn, Narendra Modi is saving all cases. He is protecting Jagan Mohan Reddy. If you come, welcome.
So are you saying that you are welcoming Jagan Mohan Reddy?
Everybody. If they are having any national interest, let them come.
All right, moving on. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj has moved a new bill to stop NRI husbands from abandoning their wives in India. The bill proposes changes to the Passport Act and seeks compulsory registration of marriages within 30 days. Parishad Luthra is here with more details. Parishad, what was the main reason to introduce this bill? And of course, take us through the provisions that are there in the fine print.
You know, one of the main complaints that the Ministry of External Affairs has been receiving for the past many years is from women who have been deserted by their NRI husbands. And these are women from across the country. There have been many cases before the Ministry of External Affairs, and therefore there was a committee set up that had officials from the Child Ministry, from the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Law Ministry and the Ministry of External Affairs as well. And they've now come up with a bill which has been introduced in the Lok Sabha. Very soon the government would move to try and pass the bill in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha as well. What this essentially does, that if a woman gets married to an NRI in India or abroad, that marriage would have to be registered within a period of 30 days. The government believes this will give more strength to the woman who's marrying a NRI husband. At the same time, if the marriage is not registered within 30 days, the passport of the NRI husband could be revoked, could be impounded by the passport office. At the same time, summons and warrants could be issued through a specially designated website which would be created by the Ministry of External Affairs. So that's another step that would put pressure on the NRI husband. Similarly, there would be powers now available with the court through changes in the CRPC, which would allow the court to attach the property of the NRI husband if he does not appear before the court and he does not follow the summons and the notices as well. So the government believes if this bill is passed in this form, it will provide a lot of protection to women who have been harassed, tortured or deserted by NRI husbands.
Okay, a game-changing bill indeed. Parisha, thanks. We leave it at that. Moving on, the United States could be heading towards another government shutdown. Talks between the Republicans and the Democrats to resolve their differences over the border security funding have so far not really yielded any result. President Trump remains steadfast in his demand for a border wall. CNBC's Elan Moe has the details.
We seem to be back where we started, which is another countdown to another potential government shutdown on Friday. Negotiations broke down over this weekend. The flashpoint this time is the number of immigration detention beds. Democrats want to cap the number from Interior Enforcement at 16,500. Republicans say that would force them to release thousands of undocumented immigrants, many of whom have been convicted of crimes. Now, the top Republican negotiator, Senator Richard Shelby, said the talks are now at a stalemate. He put the odds of success at just 50-50. Meanwhile, one Democratic source I spoke to told me simply, we're not at a good place. And on Meet the Press yesterday, White House Acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney would not rule out the possibility of another shutdown.
You cannot take a shutdown off the table, and you cannot take 5.7 off the table. But if you end up someplace in the middle, yeah, then what you probably see is the president say, yeah, okay, and then I'll go find the money someplace else.
Now, President Trump had largely stayed out of this fight at the request of both Republicans and Democrats, but he did vent his frustration on Twitter this weekend, calling Democrats irrational and their offers terrible. Now, guys, he is heading to Texas for a rally this evening. It's a pretty good bet that he's going to make the case for a border wall while he's there.
All right, Elan, thanks for joining in with those details. With that, we will have to wrap up this edition of What's Up. Thank you so much for watching. Up next, Nifty fell below the 10,900 mark. Sensex lost 150 points even after recovering 130 odd points from the low point of the day. Markets today, Talkback takes all the action forward.